Emotional thinking, love, devotee, corruption. In the battle between you and the narcissist, you have two battles you must fight. The first is against us as we seek to draw the prime aims from you, and thereafter look to hoover you in order to assert our control over you, to draw fuel from you and possibly character traits and residual benefits. The second battle that you have to fight is essentially with yourself, the battle within, tackling your emotional thinking. One of the things that emotional thinking does is it corrupts certain of your traits. Sometimes they're empathic, sometimes your narcissistic traits, because you have both. With regard to your empathic traits, one of them which you have is your love devotee trait. This is a belief in the adherence to love, that love is a many splendid thing, that love is very, very important, that love nurtures, steadies, respects, supports. You believe in love and its various manifestations, and elevated emotional thinking will come along and will look to corrupt that trait. Here is an example of how that happens, that works to the detriment of the empathic victim and to the advantage of the narcissist. In this scenario, we have narcissist, most likely middle mid-range, A or B, possibly upper mid-range, maybe lower mid-range, engaging with the victim, who's the intimate partner, primary source. This dynamic between the two will demonstrate to you how elevated emotional thinking corrupts that love devotee trait and others, but principally the love devotee one, in order to keep the victim in place and to prevent them from achieving what they want to do. You need to be aware of this because this is a clear and present risk and danger for you. You are at risk of elevated emotional thinking causing you to fail to proceed with logic. It obscures your thought process, plays with your emotions, and causes you to engage in activity that you ought not to do. How many times have you declared that you have had enough? How many times have you vowed that you are no longer putting up with this behaviour and making a fresh start? How often have you put in place steps to depart and leave this confusing and twisted reality behind? We have subjected you to a sustained devaluation, provoked so many heightened emotional responses from you, which has, of course, allowed us to assert control over you and provide us with fuel. At times, you didn't know whether you were coming or going. Your head swam, and that dull ache in the centre of your forehead never seemed to diminish. You wondered who you could trust as you fought to establish what you believed was right against a backdrop of our many contradictions. From somewhere, you mustered some strength. A bolt of fortitude sprang from the maelstrom, and in that moment of clarity, you knew it was time to go. The situation is not right, surely. Nobody should be treated in this manner. Yes, it was the moment to depart. Of course, you could not do so without your parting speech. It was not born out of spite or venom. Those are not watchwords that apply to you. No, you are governed by your empathic traits of decency, honesty, and compassion. Notwithstanding the horrendous treatment meted out against you, the repeated abuse and the incessant put-downs, you still behaved with dignity and grace. There was little doubt that you wanted to lash out. You wanted to flail us with stinging words and some home truths, just in the same way that we had used our acidic tongues and savage words to berate you. Yet despite no matter how much you wanted to speak to us in this manner, you did not do so, your empathic traits keeping your narcissistic trait of anger in check. Instead, demonstrating the considerable empathy which attracted us to you in the first place all that time ago, you explained that you still loved us. You fought back the tears, as you explained that you loved us more than you did when we first became a couple, and despite everything that has happened, you still love us. There is little doubt, of course, that your love is genuine, but it's predicated on something you didn't know, and this continuance of your love for us is the corruption of your love devotee trait. You ought to have torn strips off us, levelling a lengthy charge sheet against us, but you did not behave this way. That is not who you are. You talked about all the wonderful traits we have and how you miss them, how you continue to praise us even after everything that we had done to you. You stood there bearing the emotional and physical bruises, and rather than lambast us for putting you in such a state, you preferred to talk about the magical times that we had together. Again, this demonstrates that emotional thinking is pulling the victim away from a logical response and causing them to reminisce about the manufactured golden period, thinking about the wonderful magical times that we had, and therefore, in that instance, further corruption of the love devotee trait. You clearly had committed each of these occasions to your memory, as you brought each event up, and occurrence was remembered as the tears trickled down your cheeks. You explained how wonderful we made you feel, how you had never experienced anything like that before, and you consequently truly believed that you had found the one. Corruption of the love devotee trait again. You work through the golden period, talking about the trips we took together, the days we spent, endless days in the summer sun, and the glittering and scintillating moments that we created. You are self-flagellating. You are hurting yourself all the more, yet your selflessness continues, driven by the corruption of your love devotee trait. You are exhausted after the tortuous time that you have been put through, and yet, still, you only try to remember the good, and to banish the bad, and thank us for those wonderful times. You are behaving with remarkable dignity. You tell us that although they lasted a few months, the memories of that time are seared into your mind, and you will always treasure them. You explain that you will reflect on those memories and not what came to pass afterwards, as you still prefer to think the best of us. Despite everything that we have subjected you to, your nobility in behaving in this manner is most impressive, and your admirable words continue to fuel us. You explain between sobs that you don't want to go, but you have to. You don't want to leave everything that we have built up behind, but if you do not do so, then you fear you will be destroyed. You apologize. Yes, you actually apologize that you have not been able to help us, corruption of your empathic trait of healing and fixing, that you have failed to steer us away from the destructive and malevolent behavior that has marred the latter months together. You explain how hard you have tried, but admit you have been defeated. You express your desire for us to change, emotional thinking corrupting the desire to heal and fix, and to seek help because you truly believe that we are a good person, corruption of decency, who just needs to seize on that goodness and allow it to shine. You tell us you have seen what we can do and achieve, and you still want what is best for us. You stand there staring at us, some of your possessions already packed in the 2 suitcases which are waiting in the hallway. You tell us you will make arrangements with us to collect the remainder of your belongings once you've had a chance to think and breathe. We rise from our seat and walk towards you. You are quietly sobbing. We take your hands in our hands and hold them in that tender manner you recall so well. The vicious squeezing that one day arrived out of nowhere is no longer in existence. Instead, we hold your hands and look you straight in the eye as we summon up a luck we have practiced before with others in this situation. The luck begins as sorrow and then morphs into hope as we deploy one of our stares, searching your eyes, looking for that flicker of flame once again through the tears that will signal that you are coming back under our control. You hold our gaze as we keep searching, and then we speak, our words soft and gentle, just as they were when we whispered into your ear as we lay next to you, holding you late at night. I am sorry. I know this time I have to change. Please help me be the good person I know I can be, that I want to be. Something is wrong with me, and I do not know what it is, but you can save me. You are the only one. Please do not leave me. I cannot survive without you. I need you. I want to make you happy again because someone as wonderful and as loving as you deserves it. I will get help, but I know I can only do it with you at my side. Please, please stay. And thus the preventative hoover is issued. Why? Because you did not depart, you did not apply go so immediately. You remained, and conned as a consequence of the corruption of your love devotee trait, your trait of decency, compassion, honesty, and the desire to heal and fix, has meant that you had to deliver this speech, noble as it was, fair and reasonable as it was. It has not helped you, because instead, the longer that you stayed, the higher your emotional thinking rose, and therefore we took advantage of it. And now, this middle range type B narcissist has strode forward, or whether he's middle range type A, and has issued this preventative hoover, the promise to change, which is meant in the moment but can never be delivered on. The fact of seeing the empath now painted white as she is signalling that she is coming under control once again, that she is viewed as the saviour. A golden period, a respite period awaits. That short speech is delivered as a preventative hoover. The narcissist, most likely, given the mid-range status, is able to gather the right inflection in tone coupled with suitable contrite looks and mannerisms, all of them faked instinctively. The narcissist will continue to look into your eyes as the words sink in. The moments pass, and then the light flickers. That flame of misleading hope sparks into life, and the narcissist knows the next words before you've even spoken them, because you have already signalled from your look in your eyes and your facial expression that you will stay, that you have failed to depart, that once again the preventative hoover has kept you, and as a combination of the hoovering attempt of the narcissist and the manipulative words that have been said, and because your emotional thinking got in the way. Remember, emotional thinking is the enemy within. You must conquer it. Use my work to do so. I'm H.D. Tudor. Thank you for listening.